Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. Question: how long does cake last before it expires? Like if I get it, let's say tomorrow, how many days do I have before it's just not a good idea to eat? It's a genuine question. I really do want to know. This episode is really good. This episode was really good. I sat there and I watched it and I was just like, this is how you guys should do it every single day. Every single day. You should not be having, scenes where you have characters that just are there to run down the clock. Every scene should be important. And it pretty much was. I mean, the Jocelyn and Jason stuff was like whatever, but 90% of it, I'll take 95. This is what it should be like. I should sit there and say nearly every scene. But the point is, this is a good episode. This is how it should generally be. Every single time. So, let's start. Let's start with the scene that I enjoyed the most, and I enjoyed a lot of this episode. Let's start with Jax and Nina. So after Nina kisses Sonny, and I just had to turn my head after a while because I just felt nauseous. But after she left, she walked outside. She's all happy and over the moon and just really just living in that fantasy life. The minute she turned around and she saw Jax, I was like, this is going to be a good episode. And so he starts with questioning her. She gets all super defensive, like, what are you doing here? We're broken up, yada, yada, yada. A couple of times. He kept saying, like, Nina, why are you so nervous for? I laughed every single time. Every single time he pointed out just how nervous Nina was. So finally he was like, listen, I'll tell you what. I just want to meet this guy. Okay? I want to make sure you're in good hands, and I'll never bother you again. And he starts to make a beeline to the door. She felt like at that point her heart must have just ripped out of her chest, and she was scared as hell. So when she gets there, because Jax gets in there first, and she gets in there, she has that slight moment of relief. And of course he tries to push him away. He's like, no. I want to make sure everything is all good. So they're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Out of nowhere, you hear Sonny's voice. Turns around. He sees Sonny. He just has that look. And Nina, it was just priceless. Oh, did I forget to tell anyone that I'm a very petty person? Because I enjoyed the living hell out of... The minute I saw that, I was just like... I grabbed my chips, a drink, and I just knew that it was just going to get better going up. I mean, it wasn't going to get better for Nina, but for me, it was going to get a lot better. So, Nina just has that worried look on her face. He starts questioning Sonny a little bit. Sonny right off the jump is just like, yo, what are you doing here? Because he doesn't know who Jax is. He just sees this as somebody that's bothering Nina. It's like, yo, listen, you gotta go. You gotta leave. So he gets all super defensive and stuff. And, Nina is not there trying to explain what happened. Like, oh, he lost his memory. He found a good home. People here love him. He's happy where he is. I'm like, Nina. It's like the jig is up. You are literally sitting there saying, you're literally sitting there saying stuff like, oh, he's happy here, he likes it here. Like, if she says it enough, then she'll make everyone in the room believe her. I'm like, this is what delusion looks like. Right there. Right there. Mm. The sweating bullets of Nina was just amazing. I sat there and I was like, should I pause this? I mean, literally, like, pause this and go get my cake now? Or, like, should I get it tomorrow? Like, that, I'm literally sitting there thinking that far ahead. And it seems like towards the end of the episode, he was going to sit there and tell him the truth. Of course, when I saw in the previews, it looked like Nina was sitting there asking somebody to do, like, one last thing or whatever. Wow. Best part of this episode. So, you got Jordan, you got Curtis and Portia, both meet up at the cabin. Jordan is there for the whole Naomi Dreyfus thing and, you know, Hayden Barnes. Curtis is there to follow up a lead up on Drew. They both get there and they realize that they got practically talked to the same person. So Jordan goes inside because she says there's like broken glass, so it's probable cause. She goes inside. They all look inside. And this is pretty much where it just goes downhill for people. Because they have no cell phone reception. Jordan came by herself, no backup. And they all decide to split up. They all decide to split. I just sat there and I was like, no self-service. All just gonna just go our separate ways. And that makes sense to everyone. Okay. Alright, okay. So they all split up. Jordan goes downstairs, finds the guy finds the guy dead. And then as she's about to walk back upstairs, there's another guy that comes up, pop, clubs her on the head. I'm sitting up there thinking, Jordan, isn't this like the second time that she got caught off guard? I remember, I don't exactly remember what it was, but it was a scene like with her and Anna, and they were going after somebody. Anyway, I'm just like, Jordan, you are the police commissioner. You are making rookie mistakes. And I would even go as far as to sit there and say horror movie mistakes. But, you know, boop, she's out. So, Portia goes back, realizes that she can't get reception. She goes downstairs, she finds Jordan. But, she closed the door behind her. She closed the door behind her. And apparently there's a gas leak. So I'm sitting there looking, I'm like, if the building doesn't explode, well, there's always carbon monoxide, so, like, either way is not looking good for you guys. So Jordan starts yelling, and Portia's like, yeah, you know, you probably shouldn't really sit there and start yelling, using a lot of, you know, it's the carbon monoxide is going to get to you a lot faster. I don't think you should do that. Help! The doctor just said. Next thing you know, she turns around and Jordan is on the floor. She's on the floor. You got Curtis out there. I guess he runs into the guy. He starts running. He doesn't get that far. But then the guy's like, listen. He practically is like, either you can let me go. You can help your lady friend. Or you can do whatever you want to me. And they can die. So he knocks the guy out. He runs back. And that's when a lot of people was there telling me something in the comment section. Portia was like, I have to sit there and get back to Trina to tell her about her father. Tell the truth about her father. And I'm like, Yep, it's pretty much what everyone's sitting there saying. I got to sit there and where's everyone getting their sources from? Because I've been seeing that comment for months. For months, literally. That Curtis is the father of Trina. Seen that comment for months. I mean, everyone knows at this point I read all the comments. Or at least 98% of the comments I generally tend to read. So, and I've been seeing that for months. I want to know where is everyone's sources, where are they getting this information from? I gotta know. So Nicholas gets to the gallery. Mavis is like, I have a restraining order. He practically just rips it up. She is livid at this point. And she starts saying things like, you know, I didn't ask you to sit there and go to war with your, you know, with your son over me. And she just brought up a lot of good valid points. You know, she was really angry at the fact that not only was Nicholas putting her in danger, but also Avery in danger. And she wasn't having it this time. Okay, she was not having it. She literally brought out two giant-sized UFC guys. Okay? Compare Nicholas. It's almost like you had to get like two Nicholases just to measure up to one of them. She brought out two. She takes the call. She's like, yo, listen. Make sure he gets the message that I don't want to see him anymore. Kind of thought that she should have been more clear. Because, they literally start beating the crap out of him. I'm sitting there like, Ava, was this the plan? Like, do you plan on having Nicholas get his ass beat? She comes back, she's like, yo, what are you doing? I meant, like, threaten him, like, intimidate him. I kind of thought that their size was already intimidating enough, but, okay, sure. So now, you know, she's sitting there getting some ice from him. She kisses him. And then she's like, you know, we can't do this anymore. And, you know, that pretty much more or less ends that scene. And she leaves and she's like, make sure that, you know, he gets home. You know, make sure that he gets home or whatever. I'm like, I think in the future you probably need to be a little more clearer with these guys. Because they kind of just interpret things and things just tend to go left. Like, really left. I'm surprised they remembered to sit there and say, oh, don't hit him in the face, just everywhere else. Okay. I'm convinced that Esmir is a sociopath. And I want to understand what is her true motives with Spencer. Because I don't believe for a minute that she's actually in love with him, that she really likes him. I feel like she's using him, but I don't understand what's the purpose. She gets into it with Trina. I mean, Trina practically, you know, accuses her of being a stalker. It's like, why are you using why are you using Lauren's name? Why are you visiting Ava? What's going on? So she accuses her of being a stalker. And like what a true sociopath would sit there and do, because she just seems the type of person that would sit there and play victim and cry and do all this other crap when you barely, like, flinched at her. And she's all like, oh, well, you're just jealous because, you know, you like him, and I'm with him, and everything like that, and this, that, and the third. Just kind of bringing that whole thing up. So they go back and forth, and Spencer he tries to break it up, pretty much. And Trina just kind of just walks out like, yo, I'm just going to wash my hands from both of y'all. She leaves, she goes to Jocelyn, and she pretty much tells Jocelyn, like, yo, listen, I remember you sitting there saying this woman is bad. No, this woman is worse. Like, way worse. Meanwhile, you got Spencer sitting there trying to come up with a good apology. And, you know, Esmir is just being all sorts of, like, fatal attraction kind of creepy. But I would sit there and say fatal attraction kind of creepy because, I mean, not that I've seen the movie, but I've heard that she was really into this guy. And I don't think that Esmir is really that much into him. I feel like she's more using him. Like, she starts to get, like, behind his neck, and she's, like, holding him, and she's all like, oh, well, like, what do you want? You know, what are your interests? And all this, that, and the third, and, like, whatever you want me to do, you know? I'm just like, what the hell is wrong? I just, Spencer does not seem like the brightest bulb in the room. I just that chick is. She would definitely give a normal person creepy vibes. Like, maybe I shouldn't even be sitting next to this person. But Spencer just like, oh, I really like her, and it's like, alright, bro, whatever. I mean, this whole plan is just, and I said this before, it's just so stupid. Like, you're getting back at Ava because she didn't sit there and help you put away Valentine. It's not like they even actually had a strong case against Valentine in the first place. And at the time, Ava did want to fix her face. You would think that somebody who recently was, who was burnt when they were a little kid, would understand that. On top of that, you got all this smoke for Ava, but you're not man enough to sit there and go after Valentine? Another reason why I just kind of look at this whole plan like, bro, I'm not, no. And finally, Jason and Jocelyn was worried about Carly. They contacted Spinelli, and Jason found her. That was it. That was literally it. I think they talked about something else as far as AJ and everything like that, but it was just like, alright, like, okay. I wonder what that actor is actually doing. I'm actually have to try to look him up at Wikipedia. Not the second, the other AJ. Not the latest one, the one before him. I wonder what he's doing. I think his name is like Billy Warlock or something. I don't know what he's up to. I think that's about it. I feel like I know I missed something. I don't know what it is, but I feel like I missed something. But yeah, I gotta sit there and say this episode was actually really good. The majority, I mean, like I said, with the whole Jocelyn and Jason part, it was whatever. But everything after that was just great. And I really wish they would actually keep it at this pace. Where it's like, the majority of the scenes is actually good. There's stuff that's going on. I mean, I look at this episode and I look at yesterday's episode and I'm just like, really? Good stuff. I was actually at my deli and this woman, she was sitting there playing General Hospital on her phone. I didn't even know what it was. I just heard the theme song and I was like, yep. Anyway, and I was sitting there talking to her about the whole, I'm just over the whole Nixon Falls storyline and everything like that. But anyway, with that being said, I think that's about it. If I missed anything, please write it down in the comment section below. Also, yes, that is a legitimate question. I wasn't being sarcastic about it. How long does cake actually last? Like, if I buy it now, well, if I buy it tomorrow, how long would it last? I really do want to buy this cake, and this whole cake party thing is going to happen, and it's been like 8 months since I actually announced that, but whatever, we're finally here. So with that being said, I'm going to go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe. See you in the next video.